Hello, beloved light beings. This is Racquel and I'm here on top of my mountain, contemplating the state of all things right now, personal and worldwide. And I have a message for you and for me and for all of us, and that is about engagement. I have so many of you beautiful beings who let me know that you don't really engage with the news of the day, what's going on in the world. You've turned off on the news media, often getting your information off of social media instead of what's known as mainstream media. I have to tell you that one of the reasons that there is so much imbalance on the planet is not so much about evil, although there is a lot of evil things going on. But the thing that's worse than evil is ignorance. And ignorance is a self-enforced state of being. And we are becoming, in our hesitancy to engage with sources of news and information, and not only news of the day, but in reading about the history of how things have occurred the way they are. Because of this, many of us and many of the beloved people that I work with and amazing healers that are colleagues and teachers, live in a self-enforced world of ignorance, not about their spiritual beliefs and pursuits, but about the material world that we live in itself and what's going on with it. And it is coming in very strongly to be one who sincerely and truly asks you from all that I am and all the spiritual energy and spirit beings that reside within me and communicate through me, that I sincerely ask you to look at your level of engagement in your world, not just your politics, because politics are very tricky and can lead us into partisan silliness and belief systems that go nowhere but around in circles. If you don't want to go around in circles, then we must actually activate our engagement spiritually and consciously through our minds and our hearts, through our brains and the things we do, our choices that we make. This is very, very important, dear ones. There is a convergence happening between our spirit selves and our human selves. And if our human selves are ignorant, and if they are devoted to their ignorance, you may not think of yourself that way. But there are so many people lately that have said, hey, yeah, I don't check any of that kind of stuff out that's going on in the world. It's too hard for me. It's too difficult. I don't understand it. I don't even want to look at it. It hurts. I will say to you that, yeah, it's like taking a dose of strychnine sometimes to read a newspaper from front to back. It can be. Because what that what those articles are doing is they are talking about the state of things, of the problems that we as a community, as a country, as a world are facing. Also talking about the frustrating path of what people are trying to do to remediate things and how crazy it gets to try to do it. And yes, when you look at these things from an angel's perspective, you see the angels weeping for the disengagement of their beloved humans, for their intractability in their own resistance. Yes, the news of the day does not feel good. The Russians are invading other countries. The Ukraine is shaking in its boots, and there is murder happening, and not just there. If we shy away from knowing about it or looking at it, we not only do a disservice to ourselves because we keep ourselves in ignorance, but we do a disservice to our own spiritual paths. And that is just the truth. You can't have a spiritual path as a human being and not be engaged in the human life. And that's about more than enjoying the beauty of nature as I am right now for a little while. But I spent a lot of time today. I scanned several sources of news from around the world. I have informed myself. I have read some history. I have read some breakdowns about the various things that are going on in the world. I've read articles about what this truckers' convoy is about, and a lot. It's like a form of meditation for me to feed myself with information, to be able to parse it in a way that I can understand and meet with my own skepticism and analyzation, because I come from an informed place as a reader. Can I stress enough the importance of what I'm trying to tell you is don't run away, don't hide in a made-up fairyland where none of this exists. You'll never deal with fear in any real way if you're afraid to look at your own world. Because by engaging and informing ourselves, and not just from one source of information on Facebook or something, or YouTube, no, but directly from the sources as you can get. If we don't do that, then all the energy that we are putting out on spiritual levels to try to shift consciousness will go nowhere. We will not be credible sources for any of that. We will not make the impact unless we know what we're praying for, unless we really understand the dynamics that are going on in our world. This is serious business. There's a lot going on right now. I challenge you. You don't have to know everything, but I challenge you to choose something difficult and look at it square in the eyes. Don't back away. Don't try to make it okay when it's not okay. Just witness, understand, see where it comes from, and see what needs to change in order for Spirit to help us remediate these situations, to help us be able to change hearts and minds. How can we do that from a vacuum, from an arrogant place of not wishing to engage but thinking that we know? It just doesn't work that way. I dare you. Read a good source of media and then read a few more. Look at different points of view. It'll be hard. It'll make you process. It'll fill you with angst, anxiety, maybe fear, frustration, anger, all the above. You'll also read about the brave and courageous people that are trying to help and change things and fight for what they believe in. And those that are trying to be the diplomats, you'll find out about them too. But as long as we try looking at our world through rose-colored glasses, or through no glasses, through blindness, we are not fulfilling our promise as human beings of consciousness. We're just not. I dare you. Let me know. Let me know. All right, dear ones, thank you for your time. Thank you for your hearts, for your seeking, for your love.